So we're back working on the Audi today. It's a little bit smoky out. It's kind of hard to tell. There's still a little bit of ash falling out. We do have kind of a major fire going on up in the Santa Cruz Mountains. But looking over the car, there's quite a bit of ash, kind of and dirt and stuff gathering from the car. So we're gonna give it a little wash, and then we're gonna get started on the install. So here are the shiny new parts we're going to be installing on the S4. So these are the rear subframe mounts. There are 4 points on the car that they mount to. So there's 2 in the back, kind of sorted by the differential. I'll point those out to you. And then there's 1 on each side. Down here there's going to be like a rocker panel that covers the underneath the sides of the car. And one is going to be right here. So basically, pretty straightforward install on these. Lift the car up. Remove the bolts that are holding the subframe in, but you only want to do 1 at a time, because if you take them all off, then your subframe like shifts or it gets like misaligned. So you just want to do 1 at a time. Basically remove the bolt, remove the little factory insert, and then install these nice billet inserts from 034 Motorsport. They're all basically the same. There's 2 that you can tell go into one spot, and the other 2 that go into the other. So pretty straightforward. It's going to be pretty obvious which ones go in which hole for when you're going to be removing those bolts. For those of you that work on your cars and yourself and at home, what kind of gloves do you use? Because I used to use the Kirkland gloves, like the kind of grayish, like off-white ones, and they would break all the time. And then I switched to like the black like mechanics gloves, which are really like barely any thicker. And those just kept breaking too. But recently, my mom, pretty sick, got me these like 2 packs. She got me a green one and an orange one, and they are like all tactile. They have like bumps and stuff on them, so you can feel like super grippy when it's wet too. And they're like 3 times as thick as the other ones I've been using. Kind of weird, but this is like really satisfying to have good gloves when working on my car. With this install, it's pretty much straightforward. It's kind of basic hand tools. I think it's just like a 19 mil socket, and basically just throw that guy up there, break it loose. You only want to do 1 at a time. Remove this like almost like spacer looking thing, pry that off, and then basically you'll see the insert and you'll be able to fit the right 034 insert into it. All right, so
the National Marketing Center wasn't kidding when they said this is going to be.
After removing the spacer that I showed you guys, this is going to be the insert that you remove. Can we just take a look at this? Like, what is this? It's so small. Anyway, you can tell that that's going to be the one. I mean, obviously it's not that one. That's going to be the one that's going to replace it. But yeah, like, what the heck? I guess Audi life? I don't know. But basically, this thing was pretty easy to just pop out. Gonna throw this guy in there and see how easy. You didn't see that. See how easy it is to put this one in there. But before you want to throw the factory stretch bolt back in, because it's a stretch bolt, soft metal, we're going to be throwing some Loctite on there and then torquing it to just a little bit farther past the spec. This is going to be what 034 recommends if you're going to be using the old stretch bolts. So blue Loctite on there, and then it's going to be 120 newton meters for those guys. Another thing that I forgot to mention, before installing these guys, you do want to put some grease on them. So I'm just using basically, I just have some Redline extreme pressure grease. This stuff works pretty well for me. But any sort of like grease lubricant for joints like this is going to be good. As far as these front subframe mounts go, you have to move this like cover bracket thing. Pretty straightforward. I mean, there's only 3 bolts. Just a little bit more time consuming. Once you remove those, you are then you then have access to the subframe mount right there. Love seeing this. Out with the old one, hard plastic. Well, not so hard because it flexes, and super skinny. And in with the new billet aluminum, so much better. So there they are fully installed. It's kind of hard to see that one. There it is between the exhaust. Overall, I'm super stoked with the install. It wasn't too hard. The biggest pain was really just like getting this rocker panel back into place because I had the jack stands there, so it was just kind of in the way a little bit. Would have been way easier with a lift for sure. But overall, pretty straightforward. So now that we are done with the install, let's take the car for a little test drive. And let's see if we notice a big difference between having no inserts and then having those 0 through 4 inserts. Ooh, it's a little bright here. So, took the car around town a little bit. I immediately noticed it with the shifts. Since I don't really have any drivetrain inserts other than the DSG insert from 0 through 4, I actually kind of immediately noticed the subframe inserts. Under kind of heavier load, when you're accelerating, I do notice the shifts are a lot crisper, and it does feel like the back end is a lot tighter when you're shifting. I will link in the description below kind of the video that 0 through 4 made, which is a very good demonstration of the OEM inserts that were in there, upgrading to the subframe inserts. They put a GoPro down below, and you can actually see the difference in movement when you upgrade those inserts to those billet ones. And it's an incredible difference, and I immediately noticed it. Some people complain that they don't notice it like immediately, or they don't really notice it at all. I don't know, in my experience from just driving the car the first time, taking it around, I immediately noticed it, and I think it's definitely a worthy improvement, especially if you're going to do kind of their whole package. It's going to make a huge change in the driving experience of the car. The car is going in next week to get the motor mounts installed from 0 through 4, and then I also have the rest of the drivetrain inserts coming as well. So I'm super stoked to be able to kind of get that whole thing settled in and all dialed in with the upgraded mounts. And then I'll be making a video on that as well. So thank you all for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed. I will see you on the next one. Peace out.